It was the lust for gold that first made the region we see below us a place of huge historical significance, the place we know today as Three Valley Gap. Back in 1865, explorer and surveyor Walter Moberly was hacking his way through the Canadian bush trying to find a route suitable for a wagon road, a route desperately needed to connect the fortune seekers along the Columbia River to the Shuswap Lakes. Standing atop Mount Moody, sharp-eyed Moberly noticed eagles winging their way through what is now appropriately called Eagle Pass. He had found the way through, but never suspected how momentous his discovery was to be. For by 1885, just 20 years following the sighting of those soaring eagles, the Canadian Pacific Railway roared through Moberly's Eagle Pass to become the first transcontinental railway in Canada, an event preceded with the driving home of the famous Last Spike at Craigellachie. The dream of a Northwest Passage had become a reality. Now Canada offered the world a direct route stretching from the eastern seaboard to the Pacific, a road of steel connecting the markets of Europe and Asia. The pioneer builders and achievers responsible for cutting their way through Eagle Pass played a major role in the opening of the West. Three Valley became an important section house, replenishing the great steam locomotives with water after they had ascended the steep nearby grades. So, by the year of 1956, it's no wonder that such a significant geographical and historical point of Canada would attract the Bell family of new pioneers with an equal vision of entrepreneurship. The Trans-Canada Highway was under construction, and by 1960, Gordon and Ethel Bell opened a 7-room motel and coffee shop together with a small museum. By the end of the 70s, highway travelers had a choice of over 100 rooms at their fast-growing establishment. Today, the magnificent 200-room Three Valley Lake Chateau and Three Valley Gap Heritage Ghost Town invite visitors to relax and enjoy the hospitality of the Bell family, and to discover the best of the region's many outstanding historic, scenic, and recreational attractions, while staying in one spectacular location. As you're about to discover, Three Valley Gap is more than just an historic destination. It's your launch pad from which to explore a world-famous environment crammed with awesome natural, as well as man-made sightseeing experiences. Being located on the Trans-Canada Highway between Vancouver, the Rockies, and Calgary makes Three Valley Gap the most convenient and accessible stopover location for both individual visitors and tour operators. From the moment you arrive at Three Valley Lake Chateau and Three Valley Gap Heritage Ghost Town, you get a sense of its history, the feeling of being set down in the middle of natural and human-inspired immensities. Yes, when you're looking for the real thing, this is it. This is the place that combines today's comforts with yesterday's memories. So, on behalf of the late Gordon and Ethel Bell, allow us to show you around. The lobby introduces you to the spacious, comfortable, and casual setting guests enjoy throughout the establishment. A few steps down, and you will discover the pool hall with its antique snooker table. The lobby also features a relaxing library at the top of the grand staircase. Accommodating you is a priority, and they do it in style. All of the rooms enjoy spectacular views and overlook the beautiful landscaped Bell Gardens. The chateau offers numerous room types: standard rooms with 2 queen beds, loft suites, rooms with king beds, and family suites of various sizes. The Cave and the Eagle's Nest draw guests from all over the world. The Cave continues to be the most popular and certainly the most unique romance suite. This exceptionally private and intimate hideaway is constructed entirely from the local rock, right down to the bathtub and basin. A small bench window with a garden view completes the picture. And for those with a head for heights, the chateau offers the Eagle's Nest, a two-level suite on the uppermost floors of the hotel. The main loft-style room features a king-sized bed, a mini kitchen in the adjoining living area, and a spacious air tub-equipped bathroom. A spiral staircase takes you to a contemplation area on the upper floor. From here, there's an uninterrupted view in every direction. All very relaxing and rewarding. When hunger gets the better of you, your hosts, the Bell family, offer you the choice of the Monashee family dining room or a self-serve cafeteria, and for special events, the Holyrood train car dining room. The restaurant building is also where you will find one of Three Valleys souvenir and gift shops. Staying at the Three Valley Lake Chateau gives you and your family many ways to have fun. Challenge your friends to a game of ping pong, play on the sandy beach, or rent one of our many kayaks. You can also bring your own equipment for ATVing, water skiing, sailing, fishing, swimming, mountain biking, and windsurfing. Or perhaps you just want to relax. In which case, be their guest at the heated indoor pool and whirlpool. It's where you catch your first glimpse of the huge mural of the Titanic that stretches the length of the pool. Three Valley Lake Chateau was the dream of Gordon and Ethel Bell, and their independent spirit shows up in some unexpected ways. For example, in 1980, after BC Hydro quoted just under $500,000 to bring power to the isolated site, Gordon Bell and his family decided to take the initiative to design and build their own completely independent power source for their property. Today, two dams supply a sufficient head of water to provide all the electrical needs of Three Valley Gap. No meter readers needed around here. By now, you may have gotten the idea that the Bell family follow in the footsteps of those early pioneers by using their initiative and ingenuity to having the vision to see things through. You'd be right, and nothing demonstrates this vision more than the first time you pay a visit to the Three Valley Gap Heritage Ghost Town. A short walk from your room, and you suddenly find yourself back in the early part of the last century.
So every single thing you see here, every tree, every plant, every rock, every building, right from the water's edge all back, except for two big cedar trees, one by where you checked in, it's 1,000 years old, and there's one out by the saloon. Every single other thing you see, we put here over the last 48 years.
Folks of all ages will enjoy the self-guided tour of the Heritage Town. It's also a fantastic picture-taking opportunity for all you camera and video enthusiasts. Now put yourself, if you will, in the shoes of one of those early homesteaders, the first settlers to the Three Valley Gap region. Most communities had at least one saloon in those days. Three Valley Gap happens to have two: the Golden Wheel Saloon and the Silver Spur Saloon. Three Valley Gap Heritage Ghost Town is the real thing. Each and every one of its over 30 historic buildings was either in use or is an exact replica, often using original materials from the heydays of its existence. They include homestead houses from the surrounding areas and Craigellachie School, a one-room schoolhouse built in 1902, opposite where the last spike was driven. It was still in use until 1942 and moved to Three Valley in 1964. The three-story Hotel Bellevue was originally built in 1898 in Sicamous, with much of its business coming from its proximity to the Canadian Pacific Railway, which ran a branch line to the Okanagan from the main line at Sicamous. Gordon Bell bought it in 1964, tore it down board by board, and re-erected it in this ghost town where it stands today. Much the same goes for all the other outstanding buildings of early settler life. St. Stephen's Church, built in Donald, BC in 1886, is still used by all denominations since being moved to Three Valley Gap. The jail and sheriff's office, built in the 1890s, is constructed of logs hewn by Finnish craftsmen with broadaxes. It moved to the ghost town in 1964. Horse-drawn buggies and wagons were once commonplace for both private and commercial use. And in the buggy and wagon shop, you'll see industrial wagons used to transport coal, lumber, fuel oil, gravel, and groceries until 1945. And every town in the days before the automobile had at least one blacksmith shop. Same went for the watchmaker. Keeping railroad timepieces and station clocks accurate was an important part of running the railroad. And of course, no town would be complete without a post office. Peer through the windows or look inside these heritage buildings and you'll find them filled with artifacts of the period. For antique and history buffs, it's hard to pull yourself away. Built in 1862, the Halfway House is the oldest historic building in Three Valley Gap. Older, in fact, by 5 years than the Confederation of Canada, on July 1, 1867. Today, the Halfway House is the venue for groups having dinner in the ghost town. There's gold in them there hills, so in this old town you'll discover a mine and an enormous display of mining artifacts. While you're wandering around, why not stop by Carol's Corner Store, where you can buy souvenirs, candy, huge pickles, coffee, soft drinks, and more. Other highlights of the self-guided tour include the Antique Auto Museum, where you find lovingly restored originals dating from 1902 to 1929. Did we say 1902? Absolutely. Because here, right before your very eyes, is the first mass-produced car in North America, the 1902 Curved Olds. Incidentally, the Oldsmobile is no longer being made, so another proud name has driven off into the sunset. Before the automobile, with its dramatic and compelling attraction of individual transportation, there was, of course, the age of steam. And because the legacy of the steam engine and the railroad are inextricably linked to the founding and existence of Three Valley Gap, it's no wonder the Bell family have preserved so much of its heritage. You enter the Railway Museum through this magnificent structure, a replica of a distinguished hotel originally built in Revelstoke. An impressive variety of displays lead you to the Bell family's amazing roundhouse, home to a growing collection of historic rolling stock and steam engines. This vintage 1922 040 locomotive is the close mechanical relative of Andrew Onderdonk's No. 2 locomotives used on CPR construction in the 1880s. Onderdonk completed the CPR rails from Port Moody to Craigellachie in September 1885. Then there's this exciting restoration of a 1914 262 Baldwin steam locomotive with its distinctive cabbage smokestack. The Caribou business car started life as a dining car in 1929. Built by American Car and Foundry for Missouri Pacific Railroad, it is reputed to have once belonged to P.T. Barnum of Barnum and Bailey Circus fame. The Pacific Great Eastern Railway, the predecessor to BC Rail, bought it in 1964 and used it as a business car under her present name.
We got an awful lot of their jacks. I think we've got up to a 100-ton jack, which is, of course, you know, initially in the railway they had, it was all manpower. You'd go out to a train wreck and there'd be hundreds of men out there jacking and putting in ties and rails.
There's more as you discover the coach repair and pattern shops and more private and business coaches. While you're out by the roundhouse, take a ride on the Mackenzie Bell train, meandering its way through the backwoods and over the Eagle River. Let's face it, you're having a busy time just keeping up with all that Three Valley Lake Chateau has to offer, let alone all the attractions of its surrounding area. Without a doubt, when it comes to accommodating you, the Chateau in Ghost Town has everything to offer you, including its unique geographic location on the Trans-Canada Highway, the perfect jumping-off point to many outstanding places of interest. As an opener, and because it passes right beside the Chateau, let's follow the Trans-Canada Highway to Revelstoke. They're waiting for you, and for good reason, because this alpine city has a lot to show for itself. A beautiful downtown restoration for you to explore. Grizzly Plaza is the place to be entertained and have fun. Unique shops and dining options abound. Historical buildings are everywhere, as many as 60 of them. The Railway Museum displays the major role Revelstoke played in the founding of Canada, with exhibits of its historic railroad activities and present-day operations. The Revelstoke Aquatic Center offers fun and relaxation with leisure and lane swimming pools, a lazy river, diving board, wild water slide, hot tub, sauna, steam room, and climbing wall are all featured in the center. Revelstoke's beautiful 18-hole par 72 Riverside Golf Course meanders over 6,000 yards along the Columbia River, with the snow-capped Selkirk and Monashee Mountains framing your every stroke. Then there's the first time you discover the awesome beauty of Mount Revelstoke and Glacier National Parks, an important and protected region of Canada's natural heritage, a great area to go hiking and take nature in its stride. Take the gondola up Mount Revelstoke to see the beauty of this area from far above, and take the mountain coaster down. You're looking down at Revelstoke Dam as it spans the Columbia River, one of North America's largest and most modern hydroelectric developments, located just 5 kilometers north of Revelstoke. As a visitor to this awesome site, you can tour the multi-level exhibit areas and enjoy a brief history lesson on how and why the dam was built. Another easy route from Three Valley Lake Chateau takes you to Nakuspt. You will enjoy a free car ferry ride to Galena Bay as you cross Upper Arrow Lake before continuing along Highway 23, and the opportunity to enjoy the Halcyon and Nakuspt hot springs. Now taking the Trans-Canada Highway west of Three Valley Gap, you'll find the magical setting of the Enchanted Forest. For young and old, there are big surprises around every corner of this scenic wonderland, including an inspirational nature walk. Check out their sister attraction, Skytrek Adventure Park, right next door. Zip, jump, climb, balance, and stride your way through this treetop course. While in the neighborhood, pay a special visit to the Crazy Creek Waterfalls and Suspension Bridge. There's nothing like the sensation of walking across the 240-foot span as the falls roar beneath you. Spend some time in the hot pools to soothe away those daily pains. Okay, you've seen a few of the local sites. Now how about a day trip further west to the historic O'Keefe Ranch in Vernon? Among the many heritage buildings, visitors can take a guided tour of the original O'Keefe House, the general store, and the blacksmith shop. Now it's time to head for the beach, or should we say beaches, as we get ready to visit one of British Columbia's most sought-after summer playgrounds. We're talking about the Shuswap Lakes, of course. From Three Valley Lake Chateau, it's only 56 kilometers to Sicamous, and nearby Cinnamoson Narrows, where the four arms of this awesome lake system meet. It's your gateway to over 1,000 kilometers of shoreline, sandy beaches, and warm, clean water. Sicamous is an amazing place, a place where it's possible to snowmobile, golf, and houseboat all in the same weekend. While in Sicamous, you owe it to yourself and the kids to visit D. Dutchman Dairy. It's more than just the delicious ice cream you go for. It's where you'll find an amazing collection of friendly animals in a zoo-like setting. When your visit to the Shuswap coincides with the Adams River Sockeye Salmon Run, there's no way you can leave the region without experiencing the unforgettable display that Mother Nature puts on, as the coastal salmon come home to spawn. It's one of the largest spawning runs in the world. Truth is, You won't find another destination anything like Three Valley Gap between here and the West Coast, or between here and places far away and over the Rockies. Because where else are you this close to Canada's great railroading days of the past? This close to where they hammered in the last spike on the country's first transcontinental railway, and this comfortable and entertained for the price of an overnight stay. The late Gordon and Ethel Bell and their dedicated family members and staff are proud of what they have to offer you at Three Valley Lake Chateau and Three Valley Gap Heritage Ghost Town. Plan now to make Three Valley Gap an important part of your next travel itinerary. Visit us online at threevalley.com for complete details and up-to-the-minute information about all that's new and exciting about Three Valley Gap. And remember, for outstanding hospitality and the assurance of a memorable stay, the Bell family are your friends and promise you a great time.